Right now, Her Excellency Annette Gunher, German ambassador to Nigeria, joins me in the studio to look at this visit of the German president to Nigeria and the takeaways from it. Thank you for joining me, Annette. Let's start with the visit to the startups in Lagos. What sort of conversations were had around collaborations with Germany and Nigerian startups, SMEs? I know Germany is lauded for, and correct me if I'm wrong with the pronunciation, Mittelstand, SMEs, family-owned businesses. So what sort of conversations were had around that meeting that we just watched?
Yes, thank you, Ngechi, for having me here and for showing interest in that visit. Indeed, the visit is a strong indication of Germany's interest in even deepening our long-standing relations with Nigeria and its people. And the visit to the Innovation Hub was to showcase the innovative power of the youth in Nigeria and what they can do even with lacking the most ideal circumstances, and they still come up with very innovative solutions that if they find maybe the right partners in Germany, if they find someone who brings some initial financing to scale up their wonderful ideas, then this can be a very good success story. So I think, and because the president was accompanied by a business delegation and the German Chamber of Commerce was there and all the German business institutions, I think this was just to showcase what potential is there for deepening that economic cooperation and for strengthening the youth, the innovative youth in Nigeria.
Yeah, and we had one of the startup owners there saying, they already have a collaboration with a German brand, and she was saying, look, if we even have another collaboration, that would be amazing. And we know Nigeria is one of Germany's largest trading partner in sub-Saharan Africa. And the German president emphasized the historic partnership that we've had, especially when it comes to energy and focusing on green hydrogen. What sort of specifics can you tell us about that conversation about energy collaboration with Nigeria and Germany?
Yeah. We have been cooperating with Nigeria for a while in implementing the energy transition plan, which is a very ambitious one for Nigeria to come up with zero emissions in 2060. And all these renewable energies, green energy sources, of course, play an important role on that path to that goal. There were quite a number of companies in the delegation that had some innovative ideas on energy solutions. There was one company that presented, for instance, a power solution that says, okay, you have the sun, you have the wind, but that's not always there. So you have maybe a 15% gas to power unit there, and then you have some batteries, of course, to store the energy. So, and they wanted to come into the market or find partners for their comprehensive power solutions. So that's one example. There are other companies that promoted solar solutions, off-grid little off-grid power supply solutions. And I think in the long run, we have to work together on these climate change issues, on green energy. You know that there is a German hydrogen office in Abuja that we started 2 years ago, and this is there basically to promote the idea of hydrogen for the future, of the possibilities of producing hydrogen in Nigeria, which has all the ingredients that you need for it, and to bring the stakeholders together, and together with the German business people to promote these future and future green
energy
resources,
transition.
future green resources, energy resources. While we acknowledge that gas may be a transitional source of energy for the time being, we cannot waste time to look also at these future sources of energy.
I love conversations like this because you get to learn. I'm just finding out that Germany has that hydrogen office here in Abuja, and I'm sure our audience watching, people that are interested in that, will be happy to learn about that. President Tinubu spoke about Nigeria's openness to business and our recent economic reforms in the country. However, we know that our inflation is high. How is Germany sort of, or people that are investing from Germany, how is the navigation of the investment climate in Nigeria? Are German companies sort of optimistic with our economic reforms in Nigeria?
The business delegation got a comprehensive briefing before the meeting with His Excellency the President, got a briefing by the World Bank representative and also by the Governor of the Central Bank, Mr. Cardoso, who explained the most recent economic reforms and what they have led to and what the first signs of improvement and are. And I think they came into the meeting saying that they see changes and they value these reforms as positive, and they encourage the president and the administration to keep on going into that direction, because this is what will bring the economic and financial stability that foreign investors need to come more increasingly to Nigeria. So that was lauded by the delegation. Of course, any investor wants to have political, financial security wherever he goes and invests the money. So, but I think they all were very optimistic. So yeah, I can say that. Yes.
Another sort of standout visit by the German president was the visit to the Nikkei Art Gallery, where he highlighted the importance of cultural diplomacy. So how does Germany view like cultural exchange as a tool to keep on strengthening our ties?
You're right, Nkechi. The people-to-people relations are also important above the economic or political relations. And they have been there ever since we have established relations with Nigeria. Many Nigerians have learned German, many Nigerians have studied in Germany. Last year alone, in 23, 1,700 scholarships were given to Nigerian students to study in Germany, but there are many others who go on their own. So currently we would say we have about 4,000 students at one point in time in Germany. There was a lot of artistic exchange. It was very interesting to hear that Mama Nika, as she's called, that her first exhibition, it must have been in the late 60s, was at the Goethe Institute in Lagos. That's how the cooperation started.
Wow.
And ever since, many scholars and many artists have gone back and forth and established these relations. You can imagine that Nigerian Afrobeat music is all over the place in Germany, in Berlin, in the bars, on the radio, it's everywhere. Artists come and go. So yes, there is a vibrant exchange, and I think this is very important beyond the economic and political relations. And we wish we could do more. We wish we could have more students to study German.
Yes.
But we are happy for everyone who shows interest to go and
it's
visit
one step
Germany.
at a time, and you have to do the little that you can. And I love that you mentioned the fact that Mama Nika's first ever showing was at a German museum in Lagos. That's
the
amazing.
Goethe Institute, our German Cultural Institute.
In the 60s. That's amazing. And you know, historically, I think Nigeria and Germany, they've enjoyed that diplomatic, economic, cultural ties. In your view, I just wanted to ask you, before we let you go, what are some of the pivotal moments in this that has shaped our partnership between the two countries, and how do we continue to sort of build on that relationship? You've mentioned that you wished we could do it all. So in that doing it all, just tell us, how might we build on that relationship?
Well, I've been here since August 22. So for the last 2 years. And I think just before that time, we saw the COVID pandemic, which slowed down relations and coming and going everywhere in the world. But ever since I arrived, and especially since the new but also at the end of 22, our foreign minister was here, and she returned symbolically 20 Benin bronzes, because the German government had returned the ownership of more than 1,000 Benin bronzes. So that was after the COVID period. That was the first, very major event that happened. And then after the new administration came in, we saw the visit of the Chancellor, also with a big business delegation. And ever since, we have I have witnessed many new contacts and many new companies coming in. And then His Excellency himself, he went to Germany to participate in a G20 conference. And now the Chancellor, I think, this is 3 high-level visits in 2 years between our 2 countries. So this clearly indicates we want to intensify, we want to increase our relations. We see the potential. We want to have Nigeria as a good and strong partner in the region. We know that Nigeria is an important country here politically, economically, and Germany the same in Europe. So why not partner up? Why not, join forces? Why not do things together? President Tinubu said, like, we have the sun, you have the technology. And then he also said, and we have the youth. And you have, you need young people to come, to be trained and to work in Germany. So there are many, many win-win situations that we can build on and how we can intensify our relations.
And it's sort of an intentional sort of relationship from both parts. You've listed this track records of all the visits back and forth and the things that have happened, even just like after COVID. I'd just like to thank you so much for joining us. Annette Gunher, German ambassador to Nigeria, just touching on deepening Nigeria and German cooperation. What?